So I started out as a person who used to stutter, and I've been stuttering since as long as I know. I mean, since I was a small child. I think when I was in first grade or in second grade, and now I have come a long way. My speech is much better now. I mean, and my speech was at its worst when I'm anxious or when I'm overwhelmed. But now, um, I've been able to control it so well, and now my goal is more than just to stop stammering. Is also to help people, and is also to love to speak, which Coach Lee and many of the coaching videos in SAC helped me a lot. And and so my story begins here. Um, I always wanted my stammering to disappear. My speech, my stammering was always a barrier between me communicating with people. It always pushed me back into to stop talking to people or to make conversations. And it's not like I never wanted to talk to people. And I mean, I always wanted to communicate with people, um, make friends, and talk to people at school functions. But my stuttering stopped me too. It gave me a really hard time. And the most important thing is, it was the fear of speaking. I think stammering is not something of a big deal. I mean, many people in life have flaws. They stammer, but the thing was fear, the fear of speaking to people, and I always feared how people would think about me, or how they would react to me, and I used to go into the state of paranoia and anxiety. It made my life 10 times harder, because we as humans, we are social beings, and interacting with people and talking with people is something which is really important for human beings. And um, and I would consider myself disabled at that time, because it interrupted in my life in so many ways. um, and due to this, in school, I was always the shy and the quiet girl. And what made it harder was that even my siblings used to stammer, and my and but my two other sisters were managing it well, but I was the worst affected by it. And but I would say that them stammering did make the situation worse for me. Um, but I was very determined on removing my stutter. So I worked hard every day, and I started out by myself. I used to read out loud. I used to speak in front of the mirror, and it did help me to some extent. But then I decided I can do much more. But then things never really got that much better. But it did help me gain some confidence. And then later on, with the help of my parents, I decided to join therapy. And 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 I visited many therapy sessions, different therapy sessions, with different techniques. Most of them were reading out slowly. Some were like tapping on your fingers on each and every word, and some some told me to listen to music and speak, and then talk to strangers, and etc. I mean, It did help me, uh, but I never really got much benefit from it. So then I left all therapy sessions, and then I decided to work on my own. I mean these techniques did help me, but started sounding it started to sound abnormal, like reading slowly, tapping on your fingers. You can't really do that in front of people. So it went on like this for years, and I can say I suffered a lot. And at times like these, you almost lose hope. And but then few years later, my younger sister found out about SAC, speech and anxiety cure. I think she told me that she found it out through Reddit or Quora, and she started working on it. And then she contacted Lee, and she luckily got an invitation to Skype with him. um, what happened later was something of a surprise myself, because she gained so much confidence, and she was really and she used to be very happy with the speech, and she used to speak so happily, and she went on to tell me about how Coach Lee's book helped her a lot, and how Coach Lee is such a great person with and he passes on some really good humorous jokes, which which actually even I figured it out in his books. All his jokes about Satan and Hall of Fame, it just made me spy. Just it was really good, and I was at my worst state during that time. I mean, I couldn't say a single word, and and this was like a ray of light in darkness. So she told me, she pushed me around to read Lee's book, and that how much is helpful, and that this is something of a cure to stuttering itself. I mean, everyone would be skeptical at first, because cure to stuttering is something which is not possible according to many people. But she told me, and she pushed me around like is and she told me how much it helped her. So I read Lee's book, and I found it extremely helpful. All the auto suggestions, all the crutches, and the self hypnosis, and I was really amazed by it. and and this was a really big deal for me, because and I was really keen on stopping my stammering. And then Lee gave me the opportunity to Skype with him, and he saw my suffering, and he really understood me, and I couldn't be much grateful. And Lee then Skyped us, me and my two other sisters, and he learned a lot about me and my other two sisters, and I felt very hopeful in a very long time. And then I decided to give my best and work hard, because this is once in a lifetime opportunity. And I felt extremely lucky that I got to know about Lee. And so I started to read Lee's book from the next day onwards. And I used to read his book aloud. And I used to read his book aloud every single day. And I used to follow his all his crutches, and 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 I read all his acknowledgments, and it was really helpful to me. And after I completed my the book, I started Skype sessions with Lee, and you can say it did wonders, because I gained because I gained confidence. I felt more free. I felt more happy, and my anxiety regarding stuttering and was gone. One thing that helped me a lot was focus on your words and not your speech. This was something Lee said, and it did help me think a lot about this. And this is actually really helpful, and I started speaking with more passion, modulating my words, And the biggest thing was I stopped stammering to till a huge extent. It was a slow process. I wouldn't say that it did miracles overnight. It did take time, it did take patience, but in the end, it was worth it. And yes, now I can say my stammering is cured, which no one would believe, but I mean, if you if you do come here and if you follow Lee's book and his Skype sessions, it is actually cured. You can say that clearly. But and now my goal is not to just stop stuttering. It's also to be able to speak in front of large crowd and help other people to stop stuttering. And this has been a wonderful experience for me, and I hope all the stammerers in this world get to take this path. What I would like to emphasize on is stammering is not something of a huge deal. Many people face such problems in life, and this is something which can be made into, we can take it into a positive way, and we can cure it actually. And I hope people come through this website of SAC, because it is really encouraging and motivating, and it really helped me out through my dark times and my tough times. And Coach Lee, he just kept on pushing me forward to do my best. And now I'm planning on joining Toastmasters and speaking in front of a large crowd, and also to help other people stop stammering. and and I once again thank Lee from the bottom of my heart, and rest of the coaches too. um, I really found motivation from the coaching videos and how they used to coach people, and it really helped me a lot too. And the other thing that helped me the most was SAC books, which is a must read for everyone, for every stutterer, and the video lessons on Skype with with all the coaches, and many coaching videos. There are many abundant coaching videos. I think approximately 1,000 plus, which will help a lot in stuttering and knowing how coaching here works. And I suggest people to read the daily forums and blogs too. And I would emphasize that SAM meetings is also another beautiful place to interact with people who stutter and people who stop stuttering. And SAM meetings are held in groups and with coaches too. And many topics are discussed there, and people interact with each other and talk about the stories. And it's a very warm and the most friendly place on earth. According to me, this is the most diverse place, and it's lovely to see all the PWS and people who stop stuttering and know their story and interact with them. I also thank the whole community of stutterers, and all those who compromise the speech and anxiety cure, and and how they offer so many wonderful resources to all the people who stutter. I'm very grateful and proud to be part of this community, and I believe that SAC can truly help you cure stammering. And I wish everyone gets to see this video, and they really join SAC SAC meetings, so it can help them a lot. Thank you all for listening. I hope you learned a thing or two. Thank you.